Coming to you live from the Putasos podcast.
Oh no! Just slapped him! Like that!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Putasos podcast episode number 10. Familiar guest in studio, Big Cat is back.
I'm back. Love being here. Love coming on to talk about MMA and chilling with my boy Joe.
Yes, sir. And appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. We have all the accounts going. So if you guys could show some love, we'd appreciate it.
Putasos podcast on all platforms.
All platforms. I don't really got like Facebook. So this week's card, you have Brendan Allen versus Paul Craig. So there's not too many really big fighters on the cards. But you want to pay attention to these cards, A, because all these guys have something to prove. So you know these guys are going to go out there and perform. And then B, I mean, it's the future of the UFC. As the sport gets bigger and it keeps growing, more people are going to flood in, and you want to get used to those quote-unquote small names, because those names are going to eventually be the household names of the UFC. But make sure to tune in for those. I'm going to be watching. Sam's going to be watching, so watch those for sure.
Yeah, so we got boxing this weekend. We got Shakur Stevenson fighting Edwin De Los Santos for the WBC lightweight belt.
Vacant, right?
Vacant, yeah. So I'm definitely going to be watching that. I haven't watched any of Shakur Stevenson's fights live.
He's an exciting fighter.
Yeah.
He's for real.
Yeah, I think he's going to be probably the top guy coming up.
I think he's going to be that guy.
Yeah.
There's footage of him boxing with Haney. And he's just putting the work on Haney the whole time.
Is he? Yeah, I think he's gonna be that guy for sure. So I'll be watching that. We'll be watching that.
Yeah, we'll watch that for sure.
Yeah.
Alright guys, before we hop back into the episode, there's one thing I wanted to go over. I've got a question on this a couple times. What does Putasos mean? So me and Sam were talking about it. Not everyone's for where we're from. There's a lot,
You know where we're from, homie.
there's a lot of Mexicans where we're from, so the word's used a lot. But for you folks that don't know what Putasos
You white
means,
folks.
basically the white people, if you don't know what Putasos means, because I'll just say coworker. One of my coworkers thought that it was a bad word, basically.
Oh, really?
And if
Kind of sounds like one.
and on my Instagram, when I had Putasos podcast, if you hit C translation, it said Whores Podcast. So I had to take the space away so no one can hit C translation, and that's what it says. But anyway, that is not what it means. So Putasos, we'll start here. Putasos is a noun, all right?
Okay.
So, for example, if I'm going to use Putasos in a sentence, hey, Big Cat, you run your mouth one more time, we're going to have to throw Putasos in the backyard.
Okay.
So that's how I would use it in a sentence. Can you give me an example of using it in a sentence, Sam?
Yeah. That guy never gave me my money, bro. I'm about to go throw some putasos.
It took you that long to come up with that shit. So yeah, so Putasos is not a bad word. Basically, it's another word for hands. So like if you're going to throw hands, you're going to throw Putasos. Putasos. Alright, and you guys know what time it is. It's our top 5 segment. So speaking of Putasos, this is a perfect top 5 that we could do for this show. We're going to go over 2, but the first one we're going to go over is the top 5 most down fighters in UFC history. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I'll
go first on the next one.
I'm actually really excited for this list. I feel like I made a solid top 5 on this one. Right. So top 5 most down fighters. The number 5 was a toss-up for me. Sorry. Number 5 was a toss-up for me. Number 5 was a spot that you could have put a lot of different names in. But who I put for number 5 is Wanderlei Silva. His nickname is the Axe Murderer. The reason I put him at number 5 is, A, was he not only down to fight anybody, anywhere, anytime kind of thing, but he also was going for the finish the whole time. So this guy was always down. He was always down to stand and bang. Very, very seldom did you ever see this guy on the ground, unless he was the one being taken down.
Mm-hmm.
So Wanderlei, number 5 for me. Number 4, your current BMF champion, Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje fights are never boring. They're always exciting. You know he's going to sit there and throw hands. And keep in mind, he's a D1 wrestler, or was a D1 wrestler. So for someone with that skill set, but willing to just sit there and throw him, down fighter. Number 3, this one was a sleeper, BJ Penn. So BJ Penn was one of the smaller guys going up in weight, up in weight, up in weight. He fought GSP, he fought Matt Hughes, he fought for the lightweight title and held it, and he even fought at featherweight. So he was always fighting anybody and everybody. He's got the iconic, licking the blood off his gloves thing. So BJ Penn is my number 3. My number 2 most down fighter was Royce Gracie. So the reason I picked Royce Gracie is because if you look at his moment in time when he was fighting, that was the definition of anybody. Because back then there was no weight classes.
Yeah.
So he was literally fighting anybody all over the world, different styles, tournament styles. He was doing multiple fights in a day.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that guy is, you could really argue him as number 1.
Yeah.
Right? My number 1, which is a tie, is the Diaz brothers. I think everyone kind of saw that one coming. Those guys are really about it, and you can never count them out. You legit have to go the whole way with those guys, or they could finish the fight. So those were my top 5.
That was a fire list.
That was I like that one a lot. Yeah, I like that one.
Now I just feel like my list is absolute dog water trash. I don't even want to say my list at this point.
You have to, bro.
Do I have to?
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
I honestly only have 4, and I'm gonna sound like a casual one, but these guys are always down to stand and bang.
Leon Edwards. I'll be so mad, bro. I'll be so mad.
Habib.
Okay. Full fights once a year.
I honestly didn't even have that on my list. Oh, okay. Look, I didn't even have it on my list. Okay. I just didn't have a number 5, so I wanted to say one. I only had 4. These are more recent people. I didn't have enough time to do some deep digging and actually look at the people I know. Mm. And right now I can't think properly on who to pull. So we got Michael Chandler. His fights are always exciting. He's always down to trade. He's always down to throw him.
Hey, same thing with him too. Just like when I was talking about Justin Gaethje, he's also a D1 wrestler.
He is, huh?
So for someone with that kind of pedigree to not use it, just, that's pretty cool.
At number 2, we got Justin Gaethje.
I don't. Number 3.
Chandler was number 3.
Who was number 4?
I didn't have a 4 or 5, but it's because number 1's tied.
Okay.
So there's technically 2 people. Gaethje, he's always down. You already talked about him. He's always down to chuck him. He's always down to fucking throw hands. Mm-hmm. He throws the Putasos. And then number 1, same as you, Nick and Nate. Yeah. Went down to fight people. When I think of that, instantly it's them too.
Yep.
And everyone's just kind of behind them.
Alright, the next list that we are going to do is the top 5 best post-fight interviews. Now, you're going to go first, right? Mm-hmm. Before we go into this one, though, this one was like a little bit tougher to pick because you can really like judge it based on so many different things. You can judge it based off like who was the funniest, what was the biggest moment, what was the most iconic, most on the line. So, yeah. So I'm excited for this list.
I pretty much ranked mine by what was the just most amazing, like fucking goosebumps.
Okay.
So this is the list that I actually wanted to do the most. I requested doing this list, the one list I wanted to do.
Special request.
Because this shit just makes me feel some other type of way. So at number 5, we have a tie. I kind of just wanted to add in the second person because it's similar. But when Nate Diaz beat Conor and he said, "I'm not surprised, motherfuckers."
Yeah.
That was fire. That was a fire moment. And then following that would be Juliana Pena beating Amanda Nunes and saying, "I'm not surprised, motherfuckers."
All right.
So there's kind of a tie between those two. I like them both a lot. Number 4, I'm going with Michael Chandler at UFC 274.
Oh, yeah.
Just screaming at the top of his lungs to fight Conor McGregor.
Yep.
That was pretty insane. For top 3, these are my 3 favorite by far. But at number 3, we got Israel Adesanya knocking out Alex Pereira.
What'd he say?
He said, guys, listen.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to feel this for once in your life.
Yeah. And I
take
get
a
to
chance
feel it again and again and again and again. Alright, yeah, I know what you mean.
Alright.
That's fire.
That one fucking makes me feel some type of way. And then this was hard for me, but I couldn't put the other guy first. Number 2, possibly number 1. It's kind of a mix-up. Is Leon Edwards knocking out Kamaru Usman with 51 seconds to go in the 5th round. Headshot dead. Look at me now, living it. Headshot dead. All right, number 1, Conor McGregor. We'll go with UFC 205. Where's my fucking second belt?
I already got
this one.
I honestly expected more from you because I feel like my list is again better. I think I'm gonna go 2 for 2.
These make me feel the most, unless you enlighten me on one that I didn't think about.
My number 5, in my opinion, the most memorable to, like, let's just call it the casual fans. My Balls Was Hot by Derek Lewis. That one that one's like viral, like on the internet kind of thing. So that's a big one. My number 4, this one's a sleeper. This is Colby Covington when he beat Damian Maia
in Brazil,
and he was calling Brazil a dumb.
I was gonna put that one in too, but I didn't want to.
Because that not only revived his career, because they were about to cut Colby Covington, but he obviously got big fights after that, and then now he's in a spot where he's at. My number 3 was Chael Sonnen when he called out Anderson Silva.
Oh yeah.
And he had already lost to Silva after like dominating him for 4 rounds and then getting caught.
Oh yeah.
And then when he was calling him out, he was like, winner takes all. Like if I win, you leave the UFC, and if you win, I'll leave the UFC forever.
Yeah.
And then he lost. but that was an iconic one. Number 2 for me. Number 2 is gonna be Conor versus Alvarez, the second belt. I like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. So that one was a big one as well. And then number 1, Nate Diaz beating Michael Johnson, calling out McGregor. You're taking everything that I work for, because that set up the biggest pay-per-view in UFC history.
That was, huh? It was
Twice.
The biggest pay-per-view?
And I'm pretty sure they're number 1 and number 2.
Dude.
So those fights are just massive, and the UFC got to benefit off 2 stars because they got to benefit off 2 stars because not only is Conor huge, but when Nate beat Conor, it didn't take anything away from Conor, but like it made Nate a superstar too.
Yeah.
So the UFC banked out on 2 stars.
Huge stars, pay-per-view stars that aren't even fighting for championships.
And speaking of this, I'm telling you right here, right now, I just thought of this the other day. It's gonna be Nate versus Conor 3 at 300. And let me tell you my ideology behind this. Conor comes back in April. It's gonna be Conor versus Chandler in April. It's clearly gonna be UFC 300.
Yeah.
They're gonna push off title fights to make sure Conor can headline that fight, or Conor's just not gonna be on it. Because Conor's not gonna be a co-main to anybody. Poirier wants to fight Diaz at UFC 300 if he doesn't get a title shot. So, and Diaz has said multiple times that he wants to come back to the UFC. So, if they try to make that fight and they say, hey, Nate, we're going to put you as a co-main with Dustin Poirier, and you guys are going to fight under Conor and Chandler, Nate's going to be like, nah, bro, like, I ain't taking a co-main to anyone. I'll just fight Conor. Conor, Nate, 3, UFC 300, main event.
And then
you heard it here first.
Chandler and Poirier fight?
I don't know if they do that fight, but
they already fought.
They already fought, yeah. So I don't know if they would do that fight or what they would make, but at this point, Conor really does what he wants. So Deontay Wilder's been saying for a minute that he wants to go do an MMA fight, and he's like, that me with 4-ounce gloves is a dangerous man, which is facts, bro. That hits like a truck, and he said that he'd be down to fight Nate in an MMA fight. Now most people think that's like obviously because Wilder's a heavyweight, Nate's a welterweight, but the skill gap is so fat too. You know, like Nate's clearly the better MMA fighter. Outside of boxing, like he would punk him everywhere else.
Yeah.
You know.
How far of a gap can you go?
Well, bro, Nate walks around at 2 bills.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
If Wilder can get down to like 225, 230.
Cut to 200.
You know.
Catch weight at 200.
No, it'd have to be like a 2.
What do you got at that?
In MMA, and well, so real quick, this whole post, Nate quote tweeted the video, and he put, "Let's get these contracts written up ASAP. Real fight shit. Respect to a real fighter. Down to fight for real. All left to boxing, but this is different. Real shit. Let's fucking go." Then he put 1993 with the gi emoji, because that's when the UFC started. So that's cool, bro. Obviously, if Wilder lands, sheesh,
We've never seen
bro.
Nate Diaz go to sleep.
He got TKO'd once, but he
I
wasn't
know, I
out.
saw that.
But sheesh, bro. I mean, at some point, weight's gotta matter, dog. Like,
Yeah.
I think Nate would have to make that a ground fight pretty quickly.
Yeah, he couldn't just.
If Wilder just sits down on a right hand and it lands flush,
He's wobbling. He just goes to sleep.
I think he's dead. And you want to know why I'm glad Wilder is down to go to the UFC? It's because no one's willing to do the opposite. Which is not so much the issue, because, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not forcing anyone to go sign a boxing contract. But this last fight with Fury and Ngannou, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a ripoff, but the second judge that had Fury up, I think it was like, he had him up like
He had
four
like 4
rounds.
points or
I was like, no way. Boxing's so rigged. So I'm glad that someone's willing to hop over to this side and do an MMA fight. And for the record, I am not watching Tyson Fury fight Usyk. I'm not watching that fight.
I'll watch it.
Nah, bro.
Illegally.
Like, yeah, illegally, 100%.
We'll cut that.
No, but like, yeah, I'm not watching that fight. Boxing is rigged, and the only reason they gave that freaking decision to Fury, I feel like, is because he already signed a contract to fight in December.
Oh yeah, it was already set in stone.
Yeah, and then obviously if Francis got the W, regardless if it wasn't for the belt or not, that fight with Usyk would just be illegitimate. Like, because everyone would know in their heart of heart that Francis is the best boxer on the planet.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, in my opinion, dang. I feel like he should have won that fight. Or at least just a closer split decision, you know?
You know what? I don't know. You probably know this already, but the reason sometimes they're so spread apart is because they have each ref sitting at a different side of the table.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Raul told me that like yesterday or today or last week or some shit. When we shot, he showed me that each ref sits on one edge. And I was like, and they don't add a fourth one because you would either have to have 3 or 5 because it has to be an odd number for the decision.
Wow. That actually changes my whole perspective on that.
No. But still, they should just fucking use the screens. Like, they should be able to, like,
Nah, I
check
disagree.
replays, no?
They should be able to check replays.
Well, because if they're all on different sides, they can't see the person. If the back's, you know?
Fuck, actually, that's actually a great point.
I know, I was fucking...
I did not know
I was
that.
baffled when you told me that.
I'm pretty sure
like,
that's not the case for UFC.
I think
I'm pretty sure they all sit at the same table, no?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, they do. They all sit at the same spot.
Wow. That's interesting.
You heard it here first.
That's actually very interesting.
Professional boxer here.
Alright guys, well that's it. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you guys as always. Episode number 10. Real quick, before you guys leave, just to show my appreciation, I'm going to do a quick little giveaway.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, quick little giveaway. So, all you got to do is 2 things. 1, be following me. B, subscribe to my YouTube. Screenshot it, send me in a DM, and then I'll do a raffle for you guys, and the winner gets $100. So, $100 to whoever wins the raffle. Again, follow me, subscribe on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Putasos podcast, episode number 10. Number 10's in the books. We have a special guest, a familiar guest.
How's it going, everybody?
Big Cat's back.
If you want to be on the show, we need.
Okay, pause the camera real quick. Oh shit.
At number 3, we got Israel Adesanya taking out Adesanya Pereira. Oh, wait. Okay, chill.
Hold on. Alright, I'm ready. You're an idiot, bro.
Dude, my brain doesn't move. So, Poirier down to chuck him.
Stop, bro.
I'm cutting all that. Luckily, I'm the editor.
Don't cut that. You gotta leave all that in.
You're high.
No, you're high. That list was fucking dog shit, bro.
Dude, you gave me like fucking 2 minutes to come up with it.
No, I didn't.
Multiple on the list. Says,
Connor?
do I just... Yeah. Connor, yeah. Is it, do I rank him as multiple, or do I just put him as one and name the...
Just do it however the fuck you want.
Alright. I'm just gonna...
You got it, bro. All you gotta do
We
is
just gotta restart the
do-
episode and you'll just do something.
all you gotta do is read the list.
I just don't have the specifics of the fight. Like the fight that happened.
You wanted to do this one. That's the fucked up part.
Alright, we still are. I'm cutting this.
I don't understand why this is so difficult now.
I actually have to go pee real quick. We'll take a little break.
You just dip.
I'm gonna bring my camera with. So, moving on from that to the list I wanted. I honestly didn't even finish this list either. So my top 5 best post-fight interviews of all time are... I sound like I'm fucking announcing the fucking NBA draft or something. Oh my god.
True.
So coming in at number 5, it's gonna be a tie. What?
You gotta put these bloopers in there, bro. You gotta put. We gotta make a reel out of just fucking bloopers on this one. Is that it?
Well, that's it for this episode, folks. I'm just fucking.
I just beat an idiot.
Sam, thanks for coming on the pod.
You're a familiar face, dog.
I was just silent the whole time. I'm just not recording.